Hello, and welcome to our channel.
We're glad you're here.
Good morning, YouTube. A lot of the homesteading channels I follow have been doing a top 5 or top 10 goals of 2018 video, so I thought I'd do one myself here. Unfortunately, most of our goals for 2018 are going to be carryover goals from 2017. The one goal we did have was to get electric and water out to the barn. And we do have an outside faucet there and conduit. We ran a 100 amp service from the house through a trench out to the garage. So we do have electric out here now, and we do have outside water. Now that little pipe sticking up on the side, there is a valve underground and a piece of 3/4 inch PEX that goes into the garage. So there is water in the garage, but it's not hooked up yet. So at least we have water out here to fill the horse trough, which is right there. So that does make things easier. But that was about the only goal from 2017 we got finished. Well, almost finished. We never did finish the inside of the garage. Now for 2018, I'd say our first goal is here in the garage. As you've seen before on that side, there's a loft above the horse stalls. We want to build a loft on this side from this post back the whole way across. Be roughly a 16-foot or so loft. It'll cover this tool side over here, the shop side. You can see we've got all this stuff on the floor. You can't even work in here. You know, it's like a mountain climbing expedition to go back and get a wrench to work on something. So we want to try and get the loft built over here, get all this extra stuff up top, stored away. We'll hang some like the green bale cover. It's laying right there. We'll cut that into pieces and hang it on this joist here, this truss here, to keep the peacocks from being over here, because you can see where they roost up there up top. And when they get over here, they just poop on everything. So goal number one, or one of the main goals, is to get a loft built in this part of the garage to keep the peacocks from making a mess on the shop area. And we're also going to add a wood burner somewhere right here in the middle. That way when the heat blows under that loft, it should keep the shop area warm, and it can blow out in the garage and stall area to help keep it warmer out there as well. That's one of the goals. Another goal has to do with our other channel, Sakima's Ridge Homestead Channel 2. And that's where we're building the shooting range out back. We hope to get something going with that. Really haven't been back to see how the loggers are doing back there. I haven't seen or heard of them in a couple weeks. They might be done and gone. But one of our goals is to get that shooting range up and maybe do more with that channel. Now back here, see, we've got the semi-trailer for storage and a shed and this gap. Originally we were just going to put a little lean-to roof between the trailer and the garage to store equipment under. But we've got the camper and the pontoon boat and the sailboat and the tractor and some trailers, and the more we're thinking about it, we're going to try and take this semi-trailer and move it more over this way. And instead of building just a lean-to roof, we're thinking about buying some trusses and more or less continuing the garage roof. Maybe not quite as high, but continuing that garage roof out maybe 30, 40 feet, and just having an open pavilion type roof. Maybe put a back on it on the passenger side and on the end, and just having a lean-to park equipment under, store firewood under, maybe have enough room to put the round bales under that instead of having them out here under tarps. We could store square bales out here. So it'd be nice to have an enclosed, well, not really enclosed, but at least a roof to put things under to keep the rain off of, keep the weather off of. Because, I mean, there sits the Golden Jubilee covered in snow, and it won't start right now. I've got a tune-up kit to put in it, but it's just too cold to be out here trying to mess with that. So to get that stuff under cover to where it's not getting snowed on and rained on would be a big plus. So that's one of our big goals, is to get this trailer moved, get that shed moved, and get a roof built back here to cover our equipment. And speaking of getting things moved, another goal we had for the entire 2017 year was to go to my other house and bring the chicken coop and what was the goat pen over here. I mean, you've seen before the rundown, dilapidated chicken coop we've got over there. I've got it's an 8 by 12 building. It's got an 8 by 8 coop in the middle of it, a front porch, a 10 by 10 run on the side, and then there's a 10 by 10 steel building that used to be a gas meter house that was a goat barn that also has a 10 by 10 pen on the front of it. So since this old pen here, where we were keeping the goat, is pretty run down, you can see that wall starting to collapse in. There's no cover on it except for this tarp in the front. So this is going. It's falling down. So we're probably thinking about tearing this down, cleaning the ground up, and then going over and getting the chicken coop and the goat pen, or the former goat pen, and placing them in this location. We can move the chickens over here into their new house, and then if the peacock has babies or we end up with any other kind of animals, that goat pen could be used to house just about anything. So this kind of built this pen here was for the peacocks years ago. It used to have tarps the whole way across it. I think you saw my other video when the peacock had her baby. We had just a 10 by 10 dog run, which actually came off of that goat barn, and with a tarp over it, and that's where she was at for that baby. It'd be nice to have a building and a pen that's permanent that we don't have to worry about, because the wind did actually blow that pen over last year when she was in it. And we got lucky that neither her nor the baby was injured. But yeah, getting this old pen cleaned up out of here and getting those two buildings moved over here is definitely one of the high priorities for next year, or for this year. I'm not sure if I ever mentioned, but several months ago we gave the pygmy goat away. He was just out there all by himself, alone, and the lady that cuts my hair, she's cut it for 20 some years. She knew somebody that had several, like maybe 6 or 7 pygmy goats and a bunch of kids. So he's definitely in a better place now. Goats should be together with a companion, and when the one died, he was there all alone. So he's definitely in a better place with a group of other goats. That's really our main goals, is to get that stuff moved. Now, we have talked about extending the pasture, probably coming off of this pole here, because if we do move the semi, it's going to be somewhere in this area, coming off of that pole, or maybe back a little farther, and just coming straight across here. And then the neighbor's property, he already has a fence right on the other side of that little wood line. We could just tie into his fence. That would give the horses this area back here for pasture, and if we had the building built, we could have the trailer and the sailboat and everything moved out. And then also up in the front of the property, where we did the fence repair video, on the other side of that fence, which would be on the other side of that line of pine trees, there's a section of yard up there we really don't use, because it's between those pine trees and another row. We thought about enclosing that with fence as well to extend the pasture, because I mean, we've got roughly 5 acres over here and an acre on the other side. But when you have a year like we did this year that was awful dry, by the end of the year there wasn't a whole lot of grass left for the horses. So if we're able to enclose that area up front and this area back here and just use that when it's nice and dry so they don't tear it up, and just give them a little extra grass, that's probably another acre and a half I don't have to mow. So that's our goals for this year. The loft, the roof back there, extending the pasture, moving those buildings over to get the chickens. I mean, those poor chickens are stuck in that nasty little pen. I mean, they're dry. They've got some straw in there to be warm in an old doghouse, but they'd be much better in that other building. So we want to get that moved over here, get that extra building moved over for whatever animal might need it. And I suppose, now that the camera's pointing to that boat trailer, doing something with that sailboat's another goal this year. I'd like to get it transferred onto this trailer, sell the trailer that it's sitting on, and maybe try and start working on the interior of it a little bit. So I suppose if I kept thinking about it, I'd come up with 20 more goals, but those are our main ones. Please subscribe. That's more important now than ever, because I don't know if anyone else has noticed that they've changed the YouTube rules again, and now instead of having to have 1,000 views or 10,000 views to be a monetized channel, you now need 4,000 hours viewed in 12 months and 1,000 subscribers. So we finally met that 10,000 view goal. Never became monetized, and now they've changed the rules again. So subscribing to people's channels is more important than ever. It's just a hard game to play here on YouTube. I don't think I've really ever got the peacocks too much on video. There's one there, one there. There's the female. I think that's the young male there that was the baby last year, and over there. So yeah, they all hang out here in the garage. But yeah, subscribing to people's channels is more important than ever now. So again, please subscribe, thumbs up. Any questions or comments are always welcome. Thanks for watching.